9.
Move 9.
I'll move the, thank you, moved Councillor Darby. I'll second that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. That's just reports
Move 10.
pending. And 10, the same, moved Councillor Darby. I'll second that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. So we now, which way are we going to do it?
Move 11 as
Just
well.
going to,
Yeah, I'll second
yep,
11.
move. Yeah, we'll do, we've got Catherine, just in case there are any questions. So it's been moved and seconded. Catherine, did you want to just add to anything on our forward work programme, which is pretty comprehensive?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Perhaps just a few words just to remind you that the committee adopted this work programme in June this year. At that time we said that it would be updated 6-monthly, so this is your first 6-monthly update. There's 2 attachments. The first attachment on the agenda tracks the progress that you've made against each of the items on the programme and looks forward, and I've extended that through to September 2016. And then the second attachment is a clean copy of the work programme from now through to 2016.
Fantastic.
So, as you're aware, this committee has some very broad responsibilities in relation to implementation of the Auckland Plan, particularly around as it relates to the physical development of the city. And you have made a number of fairly significant decisions in the last 6 months since you've adopted the work programme. You've approved a tranche 8 of the SHAs, and you've got tranche 9 on this agenda. You've adopted a future urban land supply strategy with a full consultation process that went around that, and that will guide the release of greenfields land into the future. You've made some fairly significant decisions that will enable significant housing developments at Hobsonville Point, at Three Kings, and also at Tamaki. You've reviewed or confirmed your position on a number of key unitary plan matters. You've consulted on the AOTF framework, and on this agenda item you're being asked to endorse the transform locations for Panuku and also to approve a consultation process around the future provision of housing for older persons. So that's a fair amount that's been done in 6 months. You still have some major decisions to go for 2016. Some of which are still a little bit uncertain. We don't know what's going to come out of the Port Future study, for example, so it's there on the work programme, but the decisions in relation to that are still unknown. The biggest set of decisions that you'll need to make relate to the unitary plan and getting the unitary plan approved in August 2016. There'll be another tranche of SHAs that come through to you around March. Some submissions on the Resource Management Act reform and also on the new Productivity Commission inquiry into urban planning matters, and the Housing Affordability Forward Work Programme that responds to the work that you considered from the Council's Chief Economist. So that's sort of a high-level overview, and I can take any high-level questions. If you have detailed questions on specific items, I probably need to come back to you and after consultation with the people that are responsible for those areas of work.
Thank you, Catherine. Very comprehensive. Councillor Darby.
It is, and thank you,
Casey.
Catherine. Just something I have raised before, Madam Chair. I've raised the issue of the governing body and the council as a whole having greater oversight of private plan changes so that we can grill those private plan changes before we get into that statutory requirement. I think it's only a 15-day notice period for a private plan change. It's pretty quick. So what I have uncovered is there's a resolution of the first council from 2011 which delegates authority to local boards to be involved in the formulation of plan changes, and it says including private plan changes. And I don't think that's been given effect to. I think it's a good delegation, but it certainly wasn't with the Waitemata local board for PPC 79 QE Square, the one that's just in process at the moment, and possibly another one, but I need to check. But the point I'm making is private plan changes are a private applicant's change to an already well thrashed out public plan, and I think we need to have greater oversight as soon as we get wind of them, so that we are just not accepting, rejecting, adopting, and then it's in through to the independent commissioners. I would like to see us be in a position to examine those. Local boards seem to have the delegation, but not at the governing body. I think that's a critical piece of work that's missing at the moment.
Okay. I think, councillor, that's probably something we could add in for our discussion and maybe talk through on the implications of that. So, okay. Councillor Casey?
Well, just to give notice that I won't be supporting this work programme, and my reasons are very clear and very simple. There are 2 lines in this report, one to do with private plan changes that my colleague has just been discussing, and the other is the Three Kings Quarry land exchange. Just to give notice that we are proposing not to report again on this issue. If this council chooses to ignore the wishes of the local community, the local board, that's the Puketapapa local board, and its 2 ward councillors, and go ahead with a land exchange which will enable a private plan change, as just discussed, and there are 2 on the books, one is with our land, one is without our land, then it's not over. And it will never be over for the Three Kings community. So whether you like it or not, you will be hearing again from the Puketapapa local board, from myself and Councillor Fletcher, and from the people of Three Kings, because this development is not the best development for Three Kings, and that's all the people want. They want the best development, not Fletcher's development. You've heard of architect Richard Reid. You've seen the plans that Richard Reid has put up.
Councillor, I think we're getting into the actual detail. Remember, all this is the forward work programme, and the wording says, if I can just finish, councillor, that we approve or decline plan changes based on blah blah. So this is just noting and reminding people this is coming up, not a decision.
It says in the report there will be no more reporting on the Three Kings land exchange. I'm telling you, this fight has just started. It is not over. You will be hearing again from us.
We hear you. Another, did you say there were two issues? That's the one?
The other one was the private plan changes by Fletcher's.
Gotcha. Okay, all good. So I'm happy to move it was moved in Councillor Darby and Councillor Cooper. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye. Against?
No.
Councillor,
Please record.
okay, Councillor Casey and Councillor Fletcher wish their...
And Councillor Quacks.
And Councillor Quacks. Fair enough. Okay. And Stuart. Right. Anyone else?
And for the whole work.
Right. So the whole work I think councillors, is it the whole work programme, or do you wish to note that this is specific to plan changes? Because we do, as we've done with all of the committees of the whole, Councillor Woods and Councillor Webster's, we have to have a forward work programme which is pretty comprehensive. So your vote there basically says let's not have a work programme. And if you'd like it specifically noted that the concern is on
My
plan
vote is against the plan change thread and the Three Kings Quarry land exchange thread.
That's very clear, Councillor Casey.
Madam Chair, mine is against the strategic direction on planning that this council has taken, and I think my views on this are well known, and I want to consistently record my vote in opposition to it. And I think that's the same for Councillor Quacks.
Councillor Wood?
I didn't vote against it.
Oh, you didn't. Sorry, I thought I heard you. That was Councillor.
It's good, George. Good, George. Bring it on.
Right, and Councillor Fletcher and Councillor Quacks and Councillor Stewart were specific. No, just against what this council's doing. Okay, got it. Let's move on.